Career clarity comes down to three questions. What are your gifts? Who do you want to serve? And how do you want to serve them? That's the message from the #1 selling career book of all time, What Color Is Your Parachute by Richard N. Bowles. With over 10 million copies sold today, it's still brilliant. I've been reading it again. Today we're going to go through the three frameworks that I mentioned. Let's get into it. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Sam. I help mid-career professionals understand what they're really good at and how to use it. So the first place to start is, who do you want to serve? And this is the best place to start if you're feeling overwhelmed or you don't know where to start, as this will be your moral compass that helps to guide you when you get lost, and is more of an overarching philosophy on how you see life and how you want to help people. So there's 9 different purposes or ways to serve the world that the book identifies, and you can read through these and see which one stands out to you. So the book suggests we should turn these ways to serve the world into specific statements. So not just I want to help people feel better, but I want there to be more compassion in the world. I want to help people with their mental health and for them to feel better day to day. The likelihood is that you will change your career multiple times throughout your life. I think the research suggests it's now 5 times you change your career, not just your job, but your whole career through your life. So don't feel too pressured by this. It might be that you stick to a whole mission throughout your whole life and try and make a big impact in that area, or it might be that you chop and change and you look to serve the world in different ways through your life. It's really up to you. There are 2 different challenges that the book suggests will come up quite often when doing this exercise. One is that you don't feel inspiration in that moment, and it might be that you pick up the book on a different day, or a month later, or maybe even a year later, and you feel more inspired or more drawn to a particular category when you have more clarity. The second difficulty that people come across is they don't want to pick any of the categories, and they don't feel like any of them fit them. In this case, the book suggests journaling. So journaling about what life means to you, what's important to you, what do you want to achieve in your life, and really just write out as much as you can. And this might seem way too abstract and way too broad, and you might be thinking, how is this going to help me find a job? But this is really just a filtering exercise where we want to get closer to what we're interested in and remove some of the things that don't interest us and don't align with our values. So let's talk about what gifts and skills that you bring to the table. And the book describes skills in 3 different ways, and actually some of them are skills but some of them aren't. I'll explain later. But the first type of skill is functional transferable skills. So these are your core abilities, and they're transferable because they work across different industries and different roles. And they're based upon research by Sidney Fine. So Fine discovered that the more transferable your skills are, the more freedom you have. You're not locked into one industry or role, and you face less competition because fewer people can do what you can do at a high level. So how do we find these types of skills, these functional transferable skills? Well, the book suggests that we tell stories and withdraw the skills from the stories. So the book would have you reflect on energizing moments and stories in your career and from your personal life where you were fully engaged and in a flow state. So the book suggests that we write at least 5 stories and withdraw and extract the skills from each of the stories ourselves, and then there's a prioritizing grid that we can use as well in the book. This can be quite time consuming, so what I've done is create a free AI tool that you can use instead, using voice dictation, and then the AI will draw the skills for you. The link will be in the description for that, so you can do it much quicker. So once we've got our list of energizing skills, we're then going to rank them based on which skills we like using the most. So there'll be certain skills that we really enjoy using from time to time, and through your stories you'll probably notice, oh yeah, I really enjoy using that, and you'll notice that it comes up in multiple stories as well. So this is really important so that we can have energy in our work and enjoy our work, and for it to feel actually quite effortless at times as well, potentially. Another key thing to remember, and a thing that the book notes, is that there are 3 different domains that these skills can fall into as well. So the book suggests that each skill will either be working with people, working with things, or working with data. So it's worth noticing which of your skills fall into which domains, because this might give you an idea of which sort of jobs you might want to apply for as well. For example, if you have most of your skills fall into working with data, it might be that you go into software or coding or research, for example. Working with things, the definition I've got is kind of building, repairing, operating, or crafting. So if you're wondering what that means, it falls into those more hands-on type jobs. Just finally on skills, there's another really useful insight from the book, which is about the value of different skills as well. And this is measured through transferability and judgment. So higher value skills will be more transferable across roles and industries, and they require and include judgment within them. So higher value skills might be synthesizing information or mentoring others, and these require judgment within them, whereas lower value skills or more prescribed skills, as the book describes them, might be comparing documents or following instructions, as these require less judgment and typically are less transferable across industries. Ultimately, the book suggests that our higher value skills will give us more authority in interviews and applying for jobs, especially if we're looking to change careers. Between me and you, when I wanted to figure out which of my skills held higher value, I just kind of put the list into AI. I use Claude, and it's really good at kind of working that out based upon the transferability and the amount of judgment required within each skill. So yeah, give that a try. Just a quick one, if you want guided help with these sorts of activities or with your career transition, you can join the waitlist for the Career Fit Framework to work with me one-to-one. The link will be in the description. So I said previously there were 3 different skills, so let's move on to the second one, which is more about your traits. And the reason I mentioned that there was 3 skills is that people often get traits and skills mixed up, and it's important that we define what the difference is and how they work together actually. So traits explain how you work and skills are what you do. So there's actually a list of traits within the book. I don't know if you can see that there. Maybe I'll create a Google sheet of all the different traits. But an example of some of mine are analytical, observant, and thoughtful. And one of the best ways to do this, if you haven't already, is to do a personality test. So I really like 16 personalities. I'll put a link in the description for those guys if you want to do a quick quiz from them. And it's a really good way to understand what your traits are. So it's really good to know our traits because it helps us broaden our understanding of ourselves and how we work and our strengths and our weaknesses. But it also allows us to give context to our skills. So if we just say, oh, I'm a researcher, this doesn't really give us much information. Whereas if you explain that one of my functional transferable skills is researching, but I do it in a dependable or cooperative way, or a persistent way, those are all different descriptions of the way you work. And then the third type of skill that we're going to go into in a second is our special knowledges. And again, that gives further information and context to our skills. So we've answered 2 of the questions: who do we want to serve and what our gifts are to serve them. Now we're going to cover how are we going to serve them. So your special knowledges. So your special knowledges are about combining your areas of expertise with your areas of enthusiasm. So the book has this helpful 2x2 grid to allow you to understand this. There's 4 different quadrants, so low expertise and low enthusiasm. So that's, you want to stay away from that. There's no reason to be there. There's low expertise and high enthusiasm, so that's about learning opportunities. So you're curious in that area, but you don't have the depth yet. That's where you might want to experiment. And then there's high expertise and low enthusiasm. So this is the competence trap that people fall into, where they've trained up in an area and they've become competent in it, but they don't really have that enthusiasm for the area, and that's how we end up in burnout or really not enjoying our work. And then the final area is high expertise and high enthusiasm. So this is your sweet spot that we want to aim for, and is highlighted within the book. So if you're struggling to find something that falls into high competence and high expertise, it might be that you want to focus on the area of low expertise with high enthusiasm. So it might be that you have an area that you're really interested in, you want to learn more about and gain expertise in, and run little experiments and projects. And that's the way that you can really increase your understanding in that area and also grow your enthusiasm for it. So it might be that you just need to try more things. Another way to solve this problem might be that you have real great expertise in one area, but you've kind of fallen out of love with that particular line of work. And it might be that you need to do some job crafting, which I guess is a completely different video, and if people are interested in that, I can talk about that, finding ways to really enjoy your work again. It might be that you need to perhaps niche down or specialize further in that particular area to gain more enjoyment out of it. Or it might be that, there's some other methods in job crafting that you can do. So hopefully my rundown on this book has been helpful for you. I understand that some of this might not seem practical, and it might feel unrealistic that you can do work in an area that you love with the skills that you enjoy using. And I think part of that is down to the way we're educated, particularly here in the UK, is that we are taught to fit into boxes, and we often aren't afforded the time or resources or training to really understand what we're good at and to search for jobs in a way that works in our favour. And I'm really sympathetic to that and empathetic to that. And to be clear, this video isn't about all the details in searching for a job and applying and CVs and all those things. But what I've understood through my own experience and helping others is that once you gain clarity in these areas about your skills and your knowledges and how you want to serve people and who you want to serve, everything else becomes so much easier. You won't apply to jobs you're not interested anymore. You'll have a certain energy about you and interest for jobs you apply for. And you'll know the direction you're heading in. So everything else after you've done the hard work of what I've just described, which is hard work, this information isn't just going to fall on your lap. You have to put in the effort to really understand yourself and your skills. But once you do this, everything else I find falls into place much easier. And like I said, all those other things like CV writing and interviewing, you can do in a way that is just so much more energizing and enjoyable. So I really would implore you not to skip this sort of stage before you go on to your job search, and really try and nail down what you're looking for and how you want to use your career in the world. So I'll drop my free AI tool in the description for you to use. I'll drop the link for the 16 personalities, for the personality quiz. I'll link to the book. This is the older version, but I'll link to the newer version. I highly recommend it. I think it's a brilliant book. And if you want guided help with your career transitions or with topics that I've talked about today, then again, the waitlist for the Career Fit Framework will be in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.